All right, let's get to it. Oh God. We are Brightside Home Care. Effing Todd. Oh. DJ, you gotta learn to keep your bleeping mouth shut. Seriously, Todd, 24 hours hasn't started yet. Give me a break, will you? Come on. We are Brightside Home Care. Hey, home theater nerds. Welcome to the Brightside Home Theater Podcast. The home theater podcast is all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds,
the scenes.
Hey, thought I'd play that one more time, that open, for people that weren't up at 6 a.m. on Saturday. It may have missed it.
Want to know something weird?
You missed it?
Yeah. When that started coming out then, when you played that then, that bit played over the speakers on the laptop, and then it went back to my headphones.
That's weird.
I know. Yeah. That's what I said. Oh my God, it's like really loud.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything okay now? Your audio?
Yeah. We're back to the headphones. It was just that little bit of audio, and then it went back to my headphones. How weird's that?
Yeah. Weird.
Well, that's our glitch for today.
There we go. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Hopefully
that's the one.
That's the glitch.
Yeah.
That's the glitch.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah. It's, you take, I mean, that's the thing. You do, the 25 hours, nothing went wrong. Like tech wise, I sat here. Remember last year we had the ticking? Remember my audio was, and people were like, that's awful, DJ. You got to clean that. I'm like, I don't know. Because I couldn't hear it on my end. I'm like, I don't know how to fix it. And I don't know how we fixed it. We ended up fixing it a couple of weeks later. But yeah, no issues that night. But then Sunday night, the whole house lost internet.
Oh, really?
Nothing. Like, couldn't figure it out. Came back on at like 2. And then after that, I shut the whole thing. I have one switch. I shut the whole thing down, rebooted it. It's been fine ever since. But the only thing I can think is, I just basically taxed the system. 25 hours straight of streaming.
Work too much.
Yeah, I'm like, no, we're shutting you down. You've been drawing too much.
Limits.
Yeah, exactly. I hit the cap.
We've heard too much.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah. Whoo! All right.
How you feeling?
How you guys doing?
Oh, great.
Good. Yeah, good. I think I said to you earlier, DJ, or I texted you earlier, from the outside in, I did drop in a few times and mentioned Azrael each time. But as I dropped in,
subtle, Steve, subtle.
Yeah, no, I know. But as I dropped in, from the outside looking in, it just seemed not only smooth technically, but smooth in terms of just the delivery of it. Like everybody just seemed kind of chilled and kind of, we all knew what was going on. It just seemed really kind of cool, which was really good. And it's a bit different to last time where I think we were a little bit, some of us didn't quite know what we were getting ourselves into. And kind of there was some uncertainty and that sort of thing, but it just seemed so easy this time. Not for you. I know it wasn't easy for you, but do you know what I mean? In terms of, but just everyone just seemed kind of so laid back. It was cool. Brett was at his fireside with his designated podcaster. And it was all kind of just everyone was just nice and easy, going with the flow. Yeah, it was really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, it did make it seem a lot easier that it was, it'd been done before. Most of the people had been here before and experienced it. So like they knew what they were in for, right? Like it wasn't like, so what is this thing? And the few people like Ralph Potts, for instance, wasn't he wasn't able to partake last year. And I was like, and even this year, you heard him, he had COVID during the week. He's like, I'm not sure what I can do. But I was like, hey, I'm like, give me a call. So we talked on the phone during the week, and I explained to him the format, which I couldn't have done that last year. And I said that to him. I'm like, last year he was traveling, and I didn't realize how it was going to shake out. And I was trying to get everybody scheduled and get everybody in an hour, out in an hour, maybe a little overlap. That's what I was looking. And I even said that before the show last year. I was looking forward to the overlap. And I saw my notes, like the email I sent to everybody last year. And it was like, come in 10 minutes early, looking forward to and I even said, looking forward to the overlap. And then I guess you could say it went like haywire because people stuck around for hours and you're like this, but it really worked. Right? Like everybody, like even if people stuck around for a long time, everybody worked together and was, nobody talked over. Everybody's respectful of everybody speaking and stuff, which is very hard to do in this type of forum, right? Like everybody wants to say something, but it was really good. And that was last year. So then going into this year, talking to Ralph, just like I said, as an example, Ralph be like, hey, whatever you can do. I know he couldn't nail down an hour because he didn't know how he was going to feel. I go, just drop in. That's all you got to do. And it worked out really great. That's why he just dropped in. I was like, there you go. And that really worked. And other people were doing that too. Shane dropped in the middle of the night afterwards. He was in for like 2 hours in the middle of the night, maybe longer. I don't know. But yeah, it was very relaxed. Everybody kind of knew what was going on, and it made my job easier. And when I was putting together today's Takeover Tuesday, I'm listening to clips of it, and I think I said something. Maybe it was Eddie when I was talking to him. I'm like, yeah, like I don't know how. Maybe Eddie said, I don't know how you do it, and I'm like, it's easy. I'm like, and this is early in the day. I'm like, it's not that hard because everybody else is talking. And then while I'm listening to Eddie say that, I'm thinking of after 3:00 in the morning, and you're in there, Brett's in there. Any one of us could talk the next 3 hours straight, right? And I'm just sitting back. I was a guest. I'm just sitting here, and I'm like watching everybody talk, and it's which I was saying to my friends afterwards on Sunday. I'm like, that kind of makes it harder too, because you're in the home stretch. And I like to, and it's like, if I'm not talking, I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm watching the clock. Okay. All right. We got 3 hours to go. All right. Listening to everybody talk. A few minutes later, you feel like a long time's gone by. Be like, all right. Yeah. Oh, 2 hours, 50 minutes left. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. I still haven't talked. I'm like, it feels like a long time went by. 2 hours, 45 minutes left. Okay. Here we go. So it's like, yeah, it's, but yeah, it was, just all the guests, everybody coming in. It's just, I can't thank everybody enough and how great it was. And actually, I grabbed this while we were just chatting. Ryan's already up to $653 for the month. I know I 2 donations have already gone through. One for $100, and it's from, hang on a second, I can pull it up on my internet here. Where is it? Where did you go? Did I get rid of it? Oh, there it is, Movember. Sorry. And I want to give credit though. Edward Culbreth, I know he was $100, gave a donation, emailed me, and an anonymous supporter, $200 from a Brightside, and in the note says from Brightside Home Theater fan. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. And then I've also gotten some boxes of popcorn already. We're between that, all the YouTube, Patreon so far, we're already combined over $1,000. I know that.
Man. Nice.
So,
nice.
And we still have the whole month to go. So,
man.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And
Really
you said
excited.
that $200 was anonymous, was it?
That's what it says. It says
Well,
anonymous.
okay, then in that case, I'll
You want to come clean this, Steve? There you go.
Well,
you're welcome.
Never tells.
Yeah, it says an anonymous supporter from Brightside Home Theater fan, $200. So
Yeah.
2 days.
I don't like to say anything. It's I'm too modest. I wouldn't want to.
Clearly, you don't like to say anything. You got to get that tattooed somewhere.
Yeah.
Like on your forehead.
Yeah, on my, you know what?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Here we go. It's early in the day.
Yeah. Well, for
Yeah.
you guys, it's it's quite late.
Yeah. It's still too early in the day.
Yeah, but too early for that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But no, it was cool. What I liked about it, again, from dipping in and out, was how the conversation kind of moved as well. So it wasn't just home theater. And again, I think there was the temptation last time was we got to kind of keep it on that topic. Whereas, again, the discussion that you had with Omar and Rob H was it as well, I think.
Yep.
And that kind of that thing there, which John Thompson really responded to, and he said as much. And then kind of from there, and then off to the cinema discussion with Carl and Eddie Troches as well, and Ara was in on that, wasn't he? And that's the Takeover Tuesday. And so I like how it kind of it did ebb and flow that way. It was it was good. Yeah, really interesting stuff. And again, and that kind of feeds into what seemed to be everyone just being very chilled and relaxed and just kind of just going with the flow. So yeah, it was cool, really cool. But
That's
without
awesome.
you, Deej, none of it happened. So thanks very much.
Well, without Todd, we don't get the idea, right? And it's like without everybody without everybody volunteering for Takeover Tuesdays and seeing me sit here and just talk for 2 to 3 hours at a time, the idea doesn't happen. It's it's a group effort. We're the three of us are kind of the conduit for it, but it is totally a group effort. Without Ryan doing what he did, it's the inspiration to keep doing it, right? Because it's like, all right, well, I did the 25 hours. Not that I probably would have done it again, but now you're motivated to do it for a really, really good cause. And it's, I think after putting out that Takeover Tuesday, I think probably next week, if I don't record one, but even if I do, I'm probably going to put out the conversation with Ryan and Omar again. Because that was, I didn't want to put it out that quick. Because it just happened Saturday, but maybe do that later in the month and get people. That's what this is all about. That conversation there and Omar opening up and right after Ryan saying it's all about, speaking out, and talking about what bothers you and stuff like that.
And it's a time of year when a lot of people do start to struggle as well. So
exactly,
actually, it's an important thing to put out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
so.
All right.
Yep.
Well, should we say hi to everyone in the chat? If we do that, just to say
let's get to everybody in the chat, and then we'll talk about our giveaways because we just added. It's just in. We just added another one, so we'll get to that too. But let's get to the chat. Too.
So Steve Att was in earlier this evening. Well, my time anyway. A couple of hours ago. Just checking in. He said TSG Spartan was in Local Boy. Again, bemoaning the fact that YouTube seems to reset the chat, so you can't get in too early. So hi TSG. Jack Lee's in, saying finally the time zone is back to normal and he can join the live shows. Jack's obviously our Aussie correspondent. And we've got Paul Hurt in, who says he's multitasking between Brightside and exit polls. I don't know what he's talking about. No idea. I don't know no idea what else is going on. We've got Dom in. Bonsoir, he says. Hi, Dom. And again, nice to have met you on Saturday morning. That was very cool. So now we know it's not Joker follow a duck. So that's good news. We've got Scruffy's in. Hi, Scruffy. Fred's in. Hey, Fred. Jordan's in.
Hey, Fred. We all know what that means. Or maybe we don't.
John's still trying to figure out where that comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard that before.
Where am I? And we've got Jordan's in. Hiya, Jordan. We've got Brian Deed in again as well. So good to see you, Brian, or Brain Dead. I don't know. We'll think it's Brian Deed, don't we? That's fine. So everybody's in. All present and correct and ready to rock and indeed roll.
There we go.
So tell us about the extra giveaway then, Deej. Or raffle even.
Yeah. All right. So what we got here, I got an email to read. This comes from Paul Hurt. Okay. So obviously he was on the show at the end. He was one of the, what do we call it? The wrap up committee on Saturday.
Get Deej to bed committee.
Yeah. My European contingent. to get me to bed. Yeah. So it says, hey, DJ, fantastic 25-hour show at the weekend. Hope you made a quick recovery. We'll talk about that in a minute. Thanks for having me on. I haven't dared listen back. Feel like I went on a bit on a rant anyways. Wonderful to have Brightside UK representing at the end there again. As I mentioned, I have a copy of Lawrence of Arabia 4K set that I would love to raffle off. I was thinking about offering some other titles as well, but there are various region coding issues, so it's probably better to keep it simple. It's just the Lawrence set on offer. The 4K disc is region free and the Blu-rays are region ABC. But this copy of Lawrence will come with an exclusive Brightside listener bonus feature not available anywhere else. I discovered that the steelbook case is broken. I just took the shrink wrap off and the spine has almost completely split away from one half of the case. Let me be clear, the broken case is not the exclusive feature. That's what John and I would do.
Yeah.
Like, I broke this, everybody.
This is a collector's item.
It's all yours.
One of a kind.
Yeah. It's one of a kind. My dog bit it, too. Here's my solution. A, the winner can have my other undamaged Lawrence 4K Steelbook case with its J card. B, that leaves me without a case for my copy. So I'm going to make some new artwork to fit in an Amaray style case. Is that how you say that? Amaray?
Amaray, yeah, I think so.
Amaray style case. I'm not big on steelbooks anyway, and I am even less of a fan of that particular steelbook art. So this works for me. Since I'm now unexpectedly making some custom artwork for myself, I'm happy to include a new Amaray case with the new art for the raffle winner as well. So they will get a choice of keeping the discs in the original steelbook or in the new case with some new sleeve art. Just in case anyone's wondering, I worked in graphic design in print way back in the 90s before I came back to the music business. So I'm aiming to make this as good as any commercial disc artwork. It'll be based on the German theatrical poster. Let's see if I can. Here we go. I think he sent these pictures along. So he says it'll be based on the German theatrical poster from 1962, which I think is really striking. Obviously, the text will be replaced in English. Yeah. Yeah. Lawrence von Arabin.
Follow a duck.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. All right. I've lost my place. It'll be based on the German theatrical poster of 62. It was striking. Obviously, the text will be replaced in English. It's going to look great, if he does say so himself. I've attached an image of that. I love him. He knows I can say that to him. He says, I've attached an image of that original poster so you can see what I'm talking about. If you want to tell everyone, well, I'm telling everybody now, Paul. If you want to tell everyone about the prize is on the show and how to enter, that'd be great. Maybe every ticket could be $2 or $5. I noticed that the Steelbook is, for now, available again on Amazon, so it's no longer the $150 eBay scalper special that it became a year ago. John's kicking himself. But where else will anyone get this gorgeous exclusive artwork? And if they get lucky, they might win it for $2. If not, they've given $2 to a great cause, which is kind of the point. Hope you can mention this on the show. Cheers. Have a good one tonight, Paul. So there you go. What do you think? I love it. I love
very cool.
idea.
I mean, John is,
Thanks,
you should have waited, John. You should have waited.
Could have got it for $2.
You could have entered for $2. So, yeah.
No, that's a very cool idea. Yeah, it's very good. And not only could you get Lawrence of Arabia for $2 and 4K and exclusive artwork, but you could get sued by Columbia Pictures for reproducing a copyrighted piece of work. But hey, other than that, it's all good.
Actually, you can do whatever you want with it. When you make your own piece, you can do whatever you want with it. You can change it up. You can add pieces because it's an actual piece. Yeah, no, and he's technically not even selling it, so you can actually really go nuts with it. Whatever you want to do. But I will speak. I don't know if anybody is. Have you guys seen this stuff on Twitter? I don't know how long it's been, but he used to do movie night, and he would put out. he would host people in his backyard for a movie, and it would be like, you know, it'd be like almost like a menu thing, like movies to choose from. And it was, I was like, where did you get that? This was a couple of years ago. I saw this. It looks so professional. Like it was amazing what he did. He had the little icons. It was just a printed piece that he handed out to people. Like, this is what you get when you go to his house to watch a movie. I was like, that's incredible. So, but yeah, he is very good with the graphics. So, I mean, man of many talents. And I mean, who's not going to choose this? Right? Like, what do you like?
Well,
nah,
John's not. John's not.
So yeah, so I think that's great. $2, $2 a raffle, and you know, you got to put your name to that, just like we were talking about earlier.
And anyone wondering, just in case, because I think we assume people have, you know, always listened, but you know, Lawrence of Arabia as a disc is absolutely stunning. I mean, whatever you might think of the movie, John.
It is. Yep. No, I agree.
I mean, it looks absolutely incredible, and it sounds incredible as well, and it's got a good sounding Gatling gun, so I like it already.
Yeah.
But it really is good, and I mean, that's a disc that, again, John might disagree, but is worth, you know, $60-$70.
Yeah.
I say it as a man who didn't pay that for it. But it's well worth it. So to get it for, you know, $2, $5, $10 is a steal. And so you get a great film and then some very cool artwork as well, with or without the suing. And then it's all very, very cool. So no, I mean, what a cool thing for Paul to do. And by the way, you missed one of the offers from the weekend, Deej, during the live show. I did offer to represent anyone that got arrested. You'll be glad to know no one took me up on that.
Nobody took you up.
I did
either that or they're still sitting in jail waiting for you to show up.
Do you know what? I knew I forgot something. But no one took me up on
I noticed
it,
John Thompson isn't in the chat, so
Well, no, I think he's been shot by Sony Pictures for giving the thumbs up review of Paddington in Peru before the embargo lifted.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but
should we have said that?
Yeah,
I still haven't forgiven him for the Gladiator 2 review. I wish I hadn't asked.
Oh my God. Yeah, let's not bring
talk about burst my bubble.
Yeah, I say it's not being favorably reviewed.
Yeah,
oh man, yeah, just but no, he did not like it at all, and I can't wait to see it. It's out here next week, next Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. But I'm still seeing it opening day. I need to see that film.
Yeah. Let's some of the other giveaways. Let's take a look here. We have. Let's get to that for anybody that wasn't paying, didn't realize over the weekend. Eddie Trochez, we have, and in the Takeover Tuesday at the beginning, in my little open that I recorded, I called them the ARA remotes. It's the Ava remote. I was like ARA, and I corrected myself, but then I heard it back later. I said it again, the ARA remote. I'm like, jeez. So yeah, Ava remote, cinema remote. It's a beautiful remote. I talked to him since then. I've one on the way. I bought one myself. So I'm going to try and test it out before the weekend, before the end of the month, so I can talk about it here, because I think the thing looks fantastic. I mean, sorry. This keypad really is like, I just want to see how this thing works and see how, I'll talk about how, if it's difficult, if it's easy, if it's difficult and it's worth it, I'm not into that really testing thing, but maybe a couple rainy days or something from work and I can play with this thing. But really interested in it. What was that?
Nothing.
Stop! For the love of God.
Hey, you've got to fill those rainy day hours somehow, John.
You got to play with this thing. It's like, is this thing on? Does it work?
Ooh, shiny.
Getting sleepy.
Yeah, let's get this thing out and play with it for a couple of days.
Red?
I don't know.
Look at you.
Yes.
John's been home alone way too much.
Yeah.
John's like, I don't even have rainy days. I'm just like,
no. Rain, sun, sleet, snow.
Oh. What? You're gonna power through. Oh boy! So yeah,
now we know why
dynamic
Mike Trump
keypad, John. It's a dynamic keypad. So.
Got it.
Keep
It
pushing
does
the
look.
buttons.
It looks pretty cool, actually.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah. So
My
can't
only
wait
thing
to
with it
play
is
with it.
fingerprints. I'm concerned about fingerprints
Yeah.
on the screen. See that me
Yes.
being particular stroke OCD.
Yeah, but you have an iPhone, right?
Yeah, but I wipe that thing about 30 times a minute. So it's just, I can't stand it. Can't stand it.
It's gonna be a long
So that
day.
drives me crazy. Yeah. So
All
yeah,
right.
but it does look
Yeah.
sleek though, doesn't it? It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So these are like $1,700 value with the brain, and you get the brain with it, as we explained. What the brain even does and stuff. You might not need it, but comes with it just in case. So, but yeah. So we've got two of those, a black one and a silver one. It's $10. $10 for each entry for this. So if you give $100, you get 11 entries, because all you got to do, you get one for free just by emailing. And you don't have to give any money. You get one entry just for saying, I'm interested in the Ava remote or the Aura remote, whatever it is. That's one entry. Every $10 after that you allocate, towards it, will give you more entries. And then the other one is the, the SVS. We have the SVS SB 1000 Pro, same thing. So if you gave, every $10, first one's free, blah, blah, blah. So you can enter for the SB 1000 Pro, same thing. All, to raise money for Movember. That's the giveaways. The other thing we're doing is anybody that donates $50 or more gets a code for 10% off and go towards a Kaleidoscape, whatever. You want a new system, you need a piece, something like that. Eddie will give you 10% towards, a Kaleidoscape system for anybody with $50 or more, donating $50 or more. So if you were even thinking of getting a Kaleidoscape anytime in the next year, it'd be worth your money, because the cheapest, the Strato V that I have up on the screen here, that's $4,000. So you get $400 off. So for $50, you'll get $400 off. So it's $350 savings. And that's if you just get that. So if you end up getting like a $10,000 system, it's $1,000 off. So, again, if you're thinking of it, it's definitely worth it. And it's also definitely worth it just to give $50 to Movember. So just for no reason other than that. So, and we're just trying to, everybody's trying to come up with creative ways to get people to, hand over their money. Right, John?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what John likes. He wishes I was like this more often.
Well, and raising it for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, all right. Is that about it? Does that cover everything?
Yeah. Did you want to just say how people can donate then? So Boxes Popcorn, Patreon.
Yes, thank you. Links should be in the show notes. If I haven't added them there now, I will add them even to this stream. I'll add them while we're chatting. But the links are in the show notes. You can go directly to Ryan's page, which I think two people already have done. It would be good if you could put from Brightside Home Theater Fan or something like that just in the notes, just so that we could see that. But then you could do that there, or buy us a box of popcorn. We've gotten quite a few of those. I haven't had a chance to go through all of them yet. I had to actually go to work too. But I did scroll through I haven't opened the emails, but I've scrolled through and saw a bunch of people. Carl with a K that we see in the chat all the time. He's in there. It's over $100. I know that. I don't know the amount. I saw that. So thank you very much. Bunch of $5, $10. Like I said, the numbers are getting up there. So thank you to everybody for that. But yeah, just go to the website, brightsidehometheater.com, and you'll see the boxes of popcorn there. It's a PayPal donation. And then all the money that's coming in is going directly to Ryan at the end of the month. So, or you can go directly to Ryan and donate there if that makes you feel better, because I don't care where it comes from as long as it gets to him. So.
And if you could all just put anonymous in there as well, then any one of us can take credit.
Looks great. Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. No problem. Shameless to the last.
Exactly. Shameless. Oh, so yeah. So that's about it. And obviously all the Patreon money this month. And we actually picked up a couple of new patrons, at least one. I thought it was it Steve, right? If it wasn't, I feel bad. Nope, that's again these Andrew. Steve, you can put me in for the moment. Pending donation. Yeah, look at all these. Sorry. Everybody's like, there we go. Steve Wright. Yes, it was. Stephen Wright became a $5 member, a $5 box of popcorn, or what? I think that's what you buy there. So thank you very much. Thanks, Steve. So yeah, so we picked up another patron too. So that's another way you can donate, but that goes on and on and on. So, but yeah, really appreciate that. And I got some great emails. I'll be reading them at the end of the month too, for everything this weekend. Thank you everybody that wasn't part of the show, but people, hey, Mikey, a little late. That's okay. We were late too. But yeah, people writing in support and like, just tell me, way to go. Thank you. Congratulations. I think it's funny when people congratulate me on just doing something. It's not like I won
but it wasn't just like a 10-minute job, was it, DJ? It's a feat of endurance.
Well, yeah. I mean, a feat of endurance. I stood here and talked to people, and most of my life's telling me to shut up.
Yeah, but the reality is
the endurance is on you guys for listening.
Oh man, no. It's easy for us. We just dip in and out. You know, we don't have to worry about sitting on donuts and things like that. Yeah. You have to worry about all that stuff.
Sitting on donuts. Yeah, you make it sound like
by the way,
and I got a special pillow.
If
they didn't see that part of the show.
Listening to the Takeover Tuesday, you were right about when Ara says, all right, I'm just going to say this and then I've got to go make pancakes.
Yeah.
It did sound like a euphemism. You're right.
Didn't it? I was like, what the hell was that? I was like, it was just so matter of fact. The other thing that I noticed, it was just fun about the that 25-hour show is I couldn't tell people enough after the fact. Sunday is just an amazing time for me. I get a little bit of sleep and then I'm like on cloud nine. I'm just like, I can't wait to talk to people about it. I can't wait to tell people about the experience. And looking at the schedule, let me pull it up here, just looking at the schedule and thinking like, Carl comes in at 11 a.m. That's 5 hours in, Carl Ellsworth, right? But then you have, Greg, Giles, Travis, and Jim Peterson, that flow right there. I'm like looking at it. I'm like 12 hours in. 10, 12, and you're just, it goes by like that. I swear, it just flies because you're just looking at the next person. You're looking at this, it's like Todd and I are going, and I'm like, okay, Dom's coming up. Does he have the thing? And I'm like, all right. And then you popped in a little early, then Dom pops in, and it's just boom, 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 boom. And next thing you know, it's like Eddie's in, and it's like you're always just chatting away. Danny, Mike, and Nelson, you're going crazy. Just chatting away. You don't realize how many hours have gone by until you go and look and you're trying to cut the piece. And it's like, all right, I got this 8-hour clip. Where do I find? Carl's all the way at the end of it. It's like, it's crazy. And you don't realize it until afterwards that you're like, oh my God. And then listening to, I don't know if anybody heard #Dork. I know a bunch of people said they were going to start listening. They had a huge thank you at the open of their show last night. And they were like, they're like, we came in at like, what is it, the 16-hour mark? They come in 15 and 16-hour mark, and they're like, it was like nothing. Like they were talking about me like it was just fresh. I was like, but it's not me. It's all of you guys. It's just keep on going. It's like no big deal. So, yeah.
So you're saying that the door key is in the bag again this year, Deej? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. This is a pretty stiff competition. Quiet, John. Especially with their show. Exactly. So,
what more have we got to do? That should be in the bag. That should be signed, sealed, and delivered.
Exactly. Get those donations in, everybody. We're trying to buy. I mean, that's how Oscars are done, right? You slip a little money here and there.
Yeah. Certainly the Golden Globes are.
Yeah. It's like, all right, we're getting canceled. Woohoo! We made it.
It'll be just us and Will Smith.
I'd be so excited if we got
to
canceled.
Be somewhere first.
Exactly. I mean, we made it. It was like, I've been canceled. I was something.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah. So it was that was amazing. And then I literally did crash.
Oh yeah.
9:00 Sunday night, I crashed. Didn't wake up again until like 2:30 Monday.
Whoa.
I told you when I talked to you later yesterday, right, Steve? I was like, slept all day. And it's like, I was like, what the? And I remembered afterwards, I was like, oh man, is there something wrong? And I remembered afterwards, I was like, I did that last year too. I was like, I just went hang out, had a great night, had my dinner, and then went home and just went, and then this year, kind of the same thing. It's worth it though. It's worth it.
Do you feel do you feel jet lagged then when you wake up after that long sleep, or do you feel great, or is it just your body's going, I don't know where we are and what time it is, and it's all kind of weird?
No, I actually, wake up at 2:30 yesterday and like slept through the day, no problem, like just out, right? Deep sleep. And then I thought I was going to be up all night yesterday, and I wasn't. I was like ready for bed again, like at normal time. And then I've been fine. I was since up early this morning, watched a movie, had a good time. There you go. So back to normal.
Yeah. Well, if we hear any snoring, we'll know who it is, and we'll shout down the microphone.
It ain't gonna be me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just whilst we're talking on the show and about a 25-hour show, and just so I can give credit where it's due before I forget. So Dom, when he was in, told us how to appropriately say not follow a duck. So follow Dieu, I think he said. And this morning, as I was traveling to work, I was chatting to a friend of mine who said, he said, I saw Joker 2 yesterday. And I said, oh, you mean folie à Dieu? And he was very impressed. And
nice.
I told him that means, the madness of 2. And he was extra impressed. But then, Dom, just so you know, mate, I did give you your credit.
Yeah,
you told us. So,
well, how cool
you know,
is that? We literally have like a correspondent right in France to do the translation for us. I mean, where else can you get that? And it's like literally walking around Sunday, I walked into my favorite restaurant and I'm like, yep, here I am, world famous. It's world known. Let's say that. I was joking. Yeah, I was like, but it's true.
Here comes the world famous flying ace.
Yeah, exactly. World known. Brightside Home Theater. I mean, we had people popping in from Japan, Australia. Did we have New Zealand, Steve? Did somebody?
Well, you had me, so that same.
Yeah, but you weren't actually there. Okay,
as far as you knew.
No. Okay. Here we go. Talking about somebody that's a stickler for location filming.
Hey, this is all a green screen
like
behind
me. Office.
Yeah. No. If I move my hand too far back, it'll be in Hobbiton. Right out. It'll just be me and the
PK
wizards.
came in from India. He was in there. He chimed in the chat. He came in from India. We had somebody from Japan. We had Australia. Did we have Italy? I know we had Ireland. That was Jack. Who else? We're obviously United States, Canada. Still haven't hit Antarctica yet. Somebody's got to go down there and just throw us on some night.
Yeah. To be fair, the Penguins aren't big movie fans.
Oh, I love the Penguin though. We'll get to that.
But they're too busy walking in lines and listening to Morgan Freeman narrate their lives. They've just not had a chance to get to home theater just yet.
You guys ready to hit it?
Sure. Let's do it. Yeah, we've got some good stuff.
Let's get to it. There we go. I am going to start out because I got a lot of comments during Saturday about, our roots, going back to our roots and talking about scenes and stuff. And I had done this one. Obviously, this came from Cedia, but I did have to do this in the past week, so I figured I'd bring it up anyway. So let's bring this one up. It's the scene from Ford v Ferrari that was at Cedia this year in Sound Room 4, and it's just a great scene. And this is so I made the script. This is what it looks like on the Kaleidoscape. It's like, so you have your title page, you click on it, and then you go down, you can play the scene. And I obviously a 2 minutes 48 second scene, and this is where it starts for everybody. It starts at a 42 minute and 13 second mark. And it's the scene when they come in to see the Mustang, and it's like the 4K on this is just beautiful. Do you guys know this scene?
Yeah,
I know Mikey Schramm knows this scene very well. We watched it a bunch of times. You guys know this. And Matt Damon is up in, he's like, hey, you mind if I have a crack at landing? Like, how do you say that? But it's pretty funny. So he's up in the plane and they're coming in, and it's just the dynamics between on the ground, the HDR looks gorgeous. The car looks gorgeous. All the colors are beautiful, vibrant. It's crazy. But then it's an absolute stunner when the plane flies over, right? And you've got you know, coming in, they're on the ground. They'll look at, you're in a, what do you call that? Like, it's not a horse track, but it's like just that kind of environment, like with the crowd around. So you have that ambient sound of the crowd being around you, and it's, you know, it's enveloping. It's nice. And to be honest with you, when I saw this at CEDIA, I was like, oh, this is a nice scene. I thought they were showing off the picture, right? And then when they jumped to the cut, and you know, it's a jump cut to them in the plane, Damon in the plane, I was like, oh, here we go. I know what's coming next. And you just can't wait for it to get there. So it's like, that's why I like started at this at 42 minutes and 13 seconds. Let the scene play out, let it marinate. And then when that plane flies over your head, and I've watched this maybe half a dozen times since coming home. And I got to tell you, the further away you get, and I'm sure Mikey Schramm can attest to this, the further away you get from CEDIA, I'm like, I swear to God, this is exactly what it sounded like in that $1 million room. I'm like, I was like, the overheads, just as the plane goes from the front of the room to the back of the room, you keep, you know it, you know the physics. You can't locate base. You just can't, especially it's not supposed to be possible, but you can. And it's like, it's just the different frequencies tell your brain different things. And it's like that rumble that's coming in you, you feel like it's coming at you, goes through you, and now is behind you and hitting you in the back. And I'm like, I know where my subwoofers are. My subwoofers don't do that. It's not like the front subwoofer is sending extra and the back subwoofers, and then they transition. That's not the way it happens, but it feels that way. Your brain tricks you. You're not as smart as you think you are. And it's just, it's an awesome, I just watch it over and over, and that plane coming from the front, going over your head and just vibrating the room, and not even a high frequency, it's a bass, like it's quick, but if you play it over and over, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And then you back it up, like I said, let it marinate, come all the way up to the scene, and do it again. So 42 minutes and 13 seconds.
The Matt Damon fast lap sequence is great as well, with the sort of the investor, and he's like, "Do you want to see what this can do?"
That's
That's great
that is
well.
where the Carol apologizes. Is that the one? It's or is it Perfect Lap?
Not, yeah, I've only seen it once in Cinema George, but I remember that bit.
Yeah,
with the squealing of the tires and the engine screaming. It's great.
And that's Ford Jr. or something like that, right?
Yeah,
it's he's the investor. He's the one that owns it, right?
Yeah,
and he's like,
but he thinks he knows what the car can do, and you know,
and
Matt
starts
Damon
crying
gets in and shows it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I watched that one too. Yeah, that's awesome. Like he just starts crying. It's like it's a genuine. I'm wondering if that really happened, because you'd think it was like when the scene first happens, you think he's crying because he's just scared, but he's crying because he's like, my father never knew this is what a car could do. You know, and it's like at first when he starts crying, you're just like, oh, okay, he's just scared, because he's scaring the crap out of him driving around the airfield, and then for that to happen, when he says that, he goes, my father never knew that this is what a car could do. And it was just, it's an awesome scene. I'll stamp that one for next week if you'd like, Steve.
Yeah, well, you feel free.
There you go.
It's anyone that's ever been in a car with a professional racing driver on a track can attest to exactly how that guy
somebody
feels.
crazy like me and John.
Well, that's the other thing. But they just, I mean, the things that a professional racing driver can do in a car when they want to show off what they can do, it's a different world.
It really is. It's like they can make the car stick when you're not supposed to make the car stick. That's the biggest thing. It's like knowing how to take off and accelerate, as opposed to like somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. They just hit the gas and they're not going anywhere because the wheels will just spin. And but they can get the wheels to stick. And just by the same token, when you want to turn it, they know how to get the wheels to stick so it jars you one way, as opposed to somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. They just turn the wheel and the car keeps going straight. And that's why you see a lot of that on airfields. You'll train for stuff like that, so they'll be like, here you go, this is what you got to do, and you turn the wheel and you just keep on sliding straight, and you're like, oh my God, don't do that. You have to hit the brake, get the nose down, hit the wheel, boom, 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 and then you're like,
slow in, fast out.
Yep. Yeah. That's funny. Is DJ the Stig? Not exactly. No, DJ slid straight way too many times to be called the Stig.
The X Stig.
Snowbanks, trees. It's like, oh. So, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot to it. But that's what makes it fun. All right. Who wants to go next?
No, take your pick. We've got some great stuff tonight. So you spin the wheel,
we do. Do you want to just get to it? I mean, we've been teasing the bejesus out of this.
You may have heard me mention this previously on
yeah.
But at least now the good news is now you can actually hear from John himself rather than just me quoting John.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Go for it.
All right, it's on.
Okay. So, all right, good. Yeah, no, you're okay because I like to because I often trample on your sound effect, so I try and leave it a couple of seconds of dead air, so that when you run your sound effect, I'm not talking over it, which I do all the time. Anyway, so this is the often talked about by no one else other than us on this show, or indeed me, Azrael on subtitle "Angel of Death." On Blu-ray. So it's 1080p, DTS HD, Master Audio 5.1. Although, if you get the Blu-ray, just so you know, it's another one of those damn discs that defaults to 2-channel stereo. So make sure you put it in setup to 5.1. Otherwise, you're just getting stereo for reasons I do not know. So it's Blu-ray only. I only was switched on to this last week when someone on Twitter put a picture of it up and said, "Oh, I really want to see this," and I never heard of it. And and that's kind of the cover art as well, pretty much. And I thought, right, let me see the trailer. Watch the trailer. Looked awesome. Ordered it from Amazon. Was here the next day. Watched it straight away, and then immediately text you guys. It was like, "You've got to see this." And so there we go. So and it is mad. And again, I'll very quickly summarize it because I did say it 4 times on Saturday at least. So it's. It might have been 5. So it is a movie that is about, it is set after the rapture being a divine apocalypse. So those people on earth are judged, and those who are deemed to be unworthy are left to wander earth as whatever they may be, and everybody else presumably ascends to heaven. That's my ecclesiastical knowledge exhausted. And so this is set many years after the rapture, where you have some survivors who have decided that talking is a sin, and so there is no dialogue in this film. And so essentially what happens is then we meet, presumably that's Azrael. No one ever calls her that. I assume that's what it is because
she's in the IMDb as Azrael, though.
Oh, there you go. That's it. I mean, because no one calls her it because there's no dialogue.
Right.
So we'll assume that's who it is. Maybe we're wrong. And it's played by Samara Weaving, who is great. And she's great in just about every movie she's in. And she is then, it's a chase film, basically. It's a bit like Fury Road in that respect, but with fewer cars and more creatures. And she is then pursued essentially, and it's a chase movie. And then what happens, and we then get the ending, which, as I said repeatedly on Saturday, and I'll say it again, is metal AF. And Kevin Smith, whenever he talks about these things, he goes minute, and that's what I felt at the end of this. It was just, it's such a cool ending, which I'm definitely not spoiling. So the film is just bananas and great fun, and there's a reason I tell everybody about it since, because I just had such a fun time with it. It's 1080p. The video quality is really solid. There are some issues I noticed with some grain creeping in here and there because it's all in the woods. And so you see kind of little bits of grain and shimmering just here and there. Nothing that's going to annoy you too much. Only a couple of seconds and then it's gone. And it sounds really good as well. You've got moaning creatures moving around the soundstage as they're kind of shuffling through the trees. And there's gunshots and there's fighting and there's blood and guts and gore. It's a really solid disc of a really fun, came out of nowhere movie, at least to me. And it was great. So, and again, I'm not going to quote John's text as much as I love John's text. We'll let John do this. So, John, what did you think about it?
Yeah, well, I think my text said it was wild, but I don't know what I just watched, or something along
I don't
those
know
lines.
what was it. Something like I don't know what I just watched, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, this movie was bonkers. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. Not having dialogue and not having a lot of context of the rapture prior to watching the movie, I didn't know exactly what was going on, and I would have appreciated a little more context, I think, presented through the movie. But as far as just we talked last week or the week before about Don't Move, and a female lead character that didn't have a lot of agency throughout the movie. This character had all the agency, right?
Yes.
Like, it was just bananas. Bananas.
Bananas.
Nanners. Like,
Bananas.
Slipping into my deep south.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, like I said, it was crazy in all the best ways. Like, I can't really speak to the video and audio quality of it. I watched it on a not very good stream, and so none of that was really a factor for me in this movie. It was just the movie. And like I said, without knowing exactly what was going on, the lack of dialogue didn't really hinder the movie, I didn't think, because even though I didn't know the context of everything, it was very easy to follow. Like, you know exactly what's happening in every stage. You know what people are thinking. You know what, the intentions are. So the actors did a great job as far as that goes. And so, yeah, like, I know Steve's waxed poetically about it a few times. So I'll just echo that. Like, it's definitely worth a watch. Like, it's super fun. If you like this type of movie, very bloody, very, there's a lot of revenge and blood happening here, but it's super fun. So,
and a significant amount of teeth. This is what we're not going to just shoot you. We're not going to cut you. We're going to bite you as well.
Right.
And it's, and we're not talking vampires. This is the kind of worst kind of just biting, you're just like, oh my God.
It's all I have left to me is my teeth, and I'm going to use them.
Yeah. It's brutal in that respect, just unbelievable. But yeah, it's so good. Like I said, I know I went on about it, but it was just such a pleasant surprise that it's one, and hopefully it'll get a release in the US somehow, be it, on Blu-ray or Kaleidoscope, because people do need to see this kind of film. It's just so crazy that it really does need to be seen. We've got the Blu-ray over here. I'm amazed you haven't had it there yet. But hopefully, fairly soon it'll be released. I mean, Jordan just says in the chat, he was surprised at how fast it got released on Blu-ray in the UK. It was only on Shudder in the UK about a week before. So I don't know because you guys get Shudder in the US, I think.
We do.
Like a horror channel. Yeah. So whether it's on that, of course, I don't know. But if it is, then if that's how, the wider audience need to see it, then yeah, definitely give it a go, because it is just bananas. Or even bananas.
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 Yeah, exactly. It could be one or the other.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah. There you go.
As Gwen Stefani memorably once sang.
It's bananas. Bananas.
I don't even know where that came from, because I've literally never said that in my life.
And now you have. There you go.
And we've got it recorded for posterity, John.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know how I slipped into something I've never used before. But
well, that's the rapture, isn't it? You're speaking in tongues.
Yep, that's
just these things happen.
Oh, good. It's already there. Look at me. I was just looking at the show. All the links are in the show notes. So, boop.
Oh, cool.
And there we go.
All right.
Let's see. Show. Can I do? There we go. Look, I can run that at the bottom. See? Just
live ticker.
Go to a live ticker. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
All right. I was doing that while you guys were chatting, and I got to check out.
Yeah,
the Bananas movie, Azrael.
Yeah. I mean, we've kept that short because I did go on and on and on about it at the weekend. And there's only so many things even I can say about it. So, it's very cool, though. And
it's like every time you popped in, it was like, DJ, do you have the graphic ready?
Have you?
All right. So
Hey, I know you're recording, but have you watched this yet?
yeah, I know. Exactly. You've only been busy for the last few hours, Deej. But do you have the graphic ready? It's like Steve's Takeover Saturday.
But they kept coming back up with horror movies, and Shane was like, "Oh, have you seen this? Have you seen that?" And I'm like, "Well, if you're talking about that, have you seen this?" And then Todd, of course, as well. And horror just seemed to be a bit of a theme on Saturday. I think Halloween was still in everybody's kind of mindset. And so having just seen this, it was like, well, funny you should ask.
There you go. Look at that.
There we go.
Oops, wrong button.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that wasn't it. That's the one I wanted.
That's the one.
All right. Let's see, John, what do you got?
A couple.
A couple of great ones.
This is you, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Right. Yeah. I'm bracing myself.
A good segue, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Okay, so this is Ready or Not, right on the heels of Azrael. Texting with Steve back and forth after watching that, suggested that I watch this, which I had not seen before. This is streaming on Hulu in the US for those that are looking for it, but of course not in Dolby Vision. But I VPN'd it and watched it on Disney Plus from the UK, where I was able to get Dolby Vision. No Dolby Atmos, which I was kind of hoping for, but still 5.1, which upmixed nicely into Neural X. So as I said, I hadn't seen this movie before. Listed here on the screen as horror thriller. I think they forgot the comedy as well, because it's definitely a bit of horror comedy here.
Oh, okay.
And this came up because obviously Samara Weaving stars in this movie as well as Azrael. And yeah, I thought this was a blast.
Oh, good.
I had a great time watching this. This one did have dialogue, so I didn't need to know about the rapture.
Talkies, John.
I didn't even know the rapture. I mean, the premise here is a little crazy. For those who don't know or haven't seen it, a very wealthy family that made their money with board games and card games and things of that nature have set it up to where anybody new coming into the family on their wedding night has to play a game. And of course, one of the games, which only one out of like 100 games is deadly, right? So of course our main character picks the one card that puts her in a deadly game of hide and seek. And that's pretty much it. Samara Weaving has to hide until dawn. Everybody else in the house has to try to kill her before dawn. There's some other subplots here, but it's really just a hide and seek, right? But yeah, it's a blast. I really enjoyed it. It did have some good comedy elements to it. There's a few times where I laughed out loud watching this. I thought the premise, as hokey as it is, was like I said, it was a lot of fun. As far as the stream itself, I thought the video quality here was really nice. Again, having Dolby Vision. I thought even being on a stream from across the pond through a VPN still looked pretty good. The audio didn't blow me away. Like, it was fine. It upmixed okay, but I don't recall anything really through the course of the movie that maybe turned my head or that really caught my attention as far as the audio goes. A disc version of this might be different. I imagine, Steve, you own this disc, and
only the Blu-ray though. It's not out in 4K, so I've only got the Blu-ray. But yeah, but no, I couldn't. I've seen it 3 or 4 times on Blu-ray, and I couldn't pick out any audio sequences.
Yeah. It's just it's there, and it's serviceable, doing what it's supposed to do. But it's not necessarily a stellar audio mix. But again, the video was nice, and it's just a fun movie. Again, bloody as all get out. There's some really funny,
and
deaths.
Steve loves
here.
that.
Yeah. And again, strong female lead character with tons of agency and, really, she did a great job. She's I had really not seen her in too many things, but in these 2 movies, she did a great job on both of them. So.
Yeah, she's in the beginning of Scream 6. She's the pre-credits victim in Scream
Oh,
6.
okay. Well, I know she's
with-
Scarlet in the G.I. Joe movie, whatever that, Snake Eyes or something like that.
yes,
One of
yes,
those movies. Yeah.
Yeah, she's good. This is, I mean, I really like this film. I love this film since I first saw it, and the comedy comes from the ineptitude of the
Yes.
family members who are trying to hunt her,
Right.
and they've all got their own, these. I mean, I don't know if you've got any experience of this. There's sort of inter-family issues between them, where they've all got their own problems, and they're all kind of having, and in the process of trying to hunt down this girl. All this kind of comes to the boil, so they're all having to go at one another whilst they're supposed to be trying to hunt them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not a how-to, Deej.
I swear.
It's not a tutorial.
Yeah, don't try this at home.
It's a how-to.
And so their ineptitude at doing what they're supposed to be doing, plus the fact they hate each other, so they're busy bickering and having a go at one another whilst they're trying to do it, and that ineptitude leads to some unintended consequences.
Yeah.
Which is very, very funny. And there's a few of them where you've almost got to kind of, I mean, I know I did when I first watched it. I rewatched these bits several times because it's like, did I just see what I think I saw?
Yeah.
And it's very funny. So it's a great film. I'm so glad you liked it, John. Again,
I did. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a great film, and one again, did you ought to put on the list somewhere, because I think you and Jen would get a kick out of it as well, because it's so funny how they bicker amongst each other whilst this poor girl's running for her life, and they're too busy settling family scores rather than trying to stop what they're doing, what they're supposed to be doing, which it is as I say, very funny. So yeah, definitely there you go. How much was it, Deej? Because Mike
$9.99
says there you go. Okay. Yeah. So Mike Wright says he loved it as well. He says it was on sale on Kaleidoscape for $14 Canadian. So probably $7 US. So
$9.99.
$9.99.
4K HDR10. Yeah.
Nice.
DTS Master Audio 5.1.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We've not got the 4K over here on disc. It's only Blu-ray, I do believe. Yeah, not 90% sure of that. And Jordan says, he loved Ready or Not. I think he and I have talked about this before. And he said he's intrigued. Yeah, there is a sequel on the way, which is kind of what's been in my mind anyway. So they're doing another thing. How they're going to do that?
I'll say that would be interesting.
It's odd, isn't it? I don't quite know what they're going to do with that. But these guys,
maybe it's a prequel.
Yeah, it's 2 directors. And I think there's going to be all kinds of things they'll do. So yeah, prequel, sequel, who knows? But I am looking forward to it. It is a fun movie. So yeah, Deej, try not to forget this one. If you can fit this in, you and Jen will have an absolute hoot with this, because it is funny the way they do what they do. And it is gory, but in a fun way. There's no nastiness to this. And Samara Weaving is ahead of them
you still
every
liked
step of the way. Oh yeah. It's good. It doesn't have to be every film, honest.
Just if the bad guys are bad, they need to die in a certain way.
Well, that is true. There you go. Actually, Jordan, that's a good thing. Actually, there you go. So the directors of this, call themselves Radio Silence, and they directed Scream 5, 6, and Abigail.
Ooh,
there you go.
I liked all 3 of those.
So horror comedy again, where there's a lot of humor in that too. So that's the one. Yeah, well done. Thanks, Jordan. I forgot that.
There you go. All right. Here we go. All right. Let's see. What up? I think I'm next, right?
Yeah.
What do I want to go with next? All right. Let's start here. We've got a little bit of a little story to go with here. What's that one? Yeah, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get these in order. Yeah. All right. This is my whole week. All right. Yeah. Let me get this out of here. And then we'll do that. And then I got to move some stuff around here. This doesn't belong there. There we go.
Man moves tiles on a computer.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. There you go. All right. So we'll bring this up. And we've all seen, there you go.
I haven't.
Well, Steve hasn't seen any of it.
Steve hasn't seen it yet. So, all right.
Talking of penguins.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of us, have seen The Penguin. Okay. It's absolute. I mean, Steve, when you see this, it's
can't wait.
It's just
Yeah.
it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. This one here, I will absolutely rewatch the entire series when it comes out in physical. Hopefully, we get it soon on Kaleidoscape. They've done that in the past, where they like the was it the Game of Thrones one that just came out?
Oh, House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. There you go. Thank you. That we got with like 2 episodes left. It was they dropped them on Kaleidoscape, so that would be fantastic if they did that here.
There's only one left here, so
exactly. So I'm like, every day I'm checking. I'm like, is it there? Is it there? Because I'll go right through the series before the final one, somehow, some way. But it's just the like I've said before, the picture is really good. The sound is really good. It's not a home theater experience, but you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not watching this in your theater, because it really does, the production quality and everything for this, it really does belong, in the proper environment, because the acting is absolutely amazing. So this is where this is going for me this week. It's like, so you're watching this, and this is Colin Farrell, right? You can't tell this is Colin Farrell while he's acting, while you're watching the series. I've said this so many times since the series started, is that if I see somebody on screen and I can't figure out who they are, I'll close my eyes and I have to listen to them talk over and over. For some reason, my memory recall is so much better with voices and stuff. And I can be, that's the guy, he was in the office, he sat in the back corner of the room, blah, 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 whatever it is, but I'll know his voice, right? And he'll be in some obscure other movie in the background or something, and I'll hear him talk. I'm like, that's how I got it. This here, you can't tell that's Colin Farrell at all, the entire series. And then you watch I don't know if, John, have you watched any of the after stuff?
No.
On this?
No.
So if you watch any of the after, like they'll do a 7-minute, like behind the scenes, and the character development for that episode, what's going to happen in the next episode, a little bit of a teaser to the next episode and so forth. But when you go from watching, 40, 50-minute episode of Colin Farrell that you can't even tell it's him, and then here he is sitting there with his accent, and it's just being Colin Farrell, and you're like, there's no way that's the same guy. Never mind how he looks, how he sounds.
In his John McEnroe headband.
Exactly. His Ireland,
Ireland colors. Yes.
Ireland headband. It's stunning, right? So I'm watching this week, and of course I had to go back because of the setting, and I had to watch the Batman, and I watched almost all of it. It's 3 hours long, but just going to that's what makes you look at the Penguin and go, and I've said this at the beginning, it makes you think like, okay, it's just really good, because the Batman, it's just stunning. Picture quality, sound, and everything. But I also was thinking, what have I not seen lately with Colin Farrell? And I got to see something else with Colin Farrell. Nope. No, I want to see something quality.
Have you watched Sugar? Steve. Watch Sugar.
Nope.
The Banshees of Inisherin? That's Total Recall.
Total Recall.
I thought you said something.
All these good ones we just put out there.
Oh my God. This is
in
you
Bruges.
Guys didn't like this? It is so fun.
Honestly, I haven't seen it.
I know why
John?
you like this, Mr.
I haven't
Briggs.
seen it. Yeah.
I know why you like this, Mr. Briggs. And it's got
know.
nothing to do with Colin Farrell.
Steve, I didn't know.
Oh, is Kate Beckinsale in it?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't know. And it's like, I was like, how the heck do I not? I was like going through his like, I was like, oh yeah, Total Recall. I'll get that. And the other thing was, even before I saw that on Kaleidoscape, you could get it in 4K SDR with DTS Master Audio 5.1, or you could get the director's cut, which is in HD with the Dolby True HD 5.1. And I was like, you can buy one or the other. Well, what do you think I did? I bought them both.
I was going to say, I know you.
So I bought them both. And I went back and forth. And it's like, I mean, one, I really enjoyed the movie. It's a fun movie. I like it. It's believe it or not, I mean, this is going to sound ridiculous, it's a more grounded take on the story. Steve. Steve's look is like, what, grounded? No, it just seemed more grounded, like, than the other, like the way they shot it, the high contrast, the picture. It's not as flamboyant as the first one, as colorful as the first one. They still had the same, scene of the woman that comes up to him with the, triplets. But other than, that's the iconic scene. So they put that in there. But what I had fun with the movie, great contrast, great picture. And then I had fun going back and forth with between the 4K SDR and the HD with, obviously it's just HD, and the two different surround sounds. It back and forth with different scenes, and I couldn't tell the difference. Even with the SDR, I thought I did, but then when I couldn't. So here's this scene here, and you can see on the Lumagen will tell you what's coming in and then what's going out. So what's coming in on the 4K, it's coming in at 3840 by 2160p, rate of 2398, and a 444 SDR 709. So it's not even it's not even coming in with the 2020, but then the Lumagen's putting it out at SDR 2020, and this is the 4K version, but then you see here 1080p, it's coming in at 444 SDR 709. Coming in at 1080p, going out at the 3840 by 2160. Okay, so Lumagen's up converting it, and then it's up converting it to 422 at SDR 2020. If I had to guess, I think in a blind test, you might be able to see a difference. You might actually say this one, the HD version looks a little softer, I think. But then there were times in different clips that I couldn't put my finger on which one was which. So there was one time that I thought the blacks were a little deeper in the 4K, but they weren't. I thought the colors were a little bit more vibrant, but then I let it play out and they weren't. It just seemed pretty damn close. And going back and forth, maybe I saw a difference. Maybe I really couldn't tell you, because if you let the whole movie play out, you'll be happy with either one. Here's another scene. These are all from like the same few minutes of the scene. And you could even see the picture in the background. Look at the picture that it's on. I know this is on YouTube and you're looking, I'll blow it up on here. On YouTube, it's like, that's the HD version. That's the 4K version. And I locked my phone. So it's locked to the same settings. You're seeing the exact same thing, brought it to the same part. And there it is. It's just, you could see with the Lumagen menu in front of it, it's pretty damn close. Detail is pretty damn close. Like when you go here and Jessica Biel, her face and the shadows and the highlights and the pores on her face, pretty close. Pretty damn close. It would be hard pressed to tell the difference between the two. And then, like I said, and even audio wise, I thought for sure when I switched over to the Dolby, I thought that had more bass, and it was a little, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, this feels like it's a little bit more. But what it was is when I did it, I switched over and kept the scene going. So I jumped to that scene and kept it going. But then when I backed it up and played the exact same scenes over and over, that's when I can't really tell the difference. Everything seemed relatively the same. And that's HD to 4K SDR, right? Maybe in this movie here, I think really does deserve an HDR version, because it's so dark, so high contrast. It still looks great. I thought it looked fantastic. It has great audio too, regardless of which one it was. There's a lot of good bass sweeps in this, vibrations coming up from the floor, some great gunshots. Opening scene for this, really, really good. Push play and demo for probably 2 to 3 minutes with that opening scene with a nice bass sweep in there and everything. So a lot of fun. And it's like just how your mind works, and just like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, Colin Farrell. How do I get from this? How do I go to this? It's like, and yes, I know there were, you guys are all laughing at all the other ones in the chat, but where else could I have had this much fun? And oh, by the way, Kate Beckinsale. And they did, I was going to take the picture. They did have the shot. It wasn't in shiny latex or leather, but they did get the shot. She had it.
Did she have like the 3 breasts, or
no, she didn't have. She didn't have the triplets. No, yeah, no, it wasn't her.
Oh, okay.
She plays the role of Sharon Stone.
Oh, all right.
in this one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Only more badass. Way more badass. The character in this one's way more. Yeah. So
I've got the Blu-ray of this, and I've only seen it once, and I remember enjoying it for what it was. I mean, bear in mind, it's never going to touch Paul Verhoeven's original, but I did enjoy it. I remember thinking, yeah, that was pretty good. So I will rewatch it now on the back of that, because that would have been in the old cinema room, so I haven't seen it in Cinema George and on the bigger screen. So yeah, I will revisit that, and yeah, it's in True HD on the Blu-ray. I just checked. So, and it's a Sony disc, so of course Sony stuff, I'm convinced they mastered it higher than 1080p discs. They mastered it 2K or higher anyway, which of course will then bring it closer to a 4K anyway, which is why maybe the detail wasn't that different, but yeah, no, I'll give that a go. I'll look forward to trying that out.
I'm really surprised with the 4K SDR on this one here. This movie, when you see it, you get the contrast. There's some really beautiful like colors in the like really deep reds and vibrant deep red lot of saturation in the color that I noticed, and that's why I went back when I went to the HD. I was like, there's no way it's going to be as good, and I jumped back to a couple of them, especially early on, and you're like, nope, there they are. They look great, look fantastic, really good. I mean, I don't know, that could be the Lumagen 2 up converting it a little bit, but I mean, even still, the 4K for anybody, if you're getting SDR, it did look really, really good.
But if you're up to 100 on a 110-inch screen and you're not 100% certain in terms of differences, then people on normal screens are definitely not going to be able to tell the difference.
Oh yeah, it's it is being up converted to 4K, so it is. I'm getting but I'm sitting further away, so I am sitting 11 feet from a 110-inch screen. So that's even 4K to 1080. You may see a perceived softness or something that you might not get. It might not seem as sharp. It could be in your head, and that's why it's fun to jump back and forth. It's not super easy to jump back and forth on this. It takes like probably 30, 40 seconds because you have to pause the movie or stop the movie, get out, because you have the two different versions, change the version, then jump back to that scene. So basically restart the movie every time. And it goes pretty quick, but it's enough to give you a good idea that, damn, these are very, very close, So,
I mean, I'm surprised, Deej, that in a movie with Kate Beckinsale, you would have experienced any softness. But anyway, moving on.
None. Yeah, it was touch and go there for a little while, Steve.
Oh, I bet it was. Of that, I've got no doubt.
Exactly. So.
You guys think it's all me, but
actually, while those months you were gone, we talked off air. We're just trying to get you to squirm in your seat.
Okay, because I wasn't even involved in that conversation.
Because it's working. You're like turning red. You're moving in your seat.
Oh, I was just getting closer.
Exactly.
Just moving closer.
What was that thump?
So I could get in on the conversation.
Oh
boy.
Oh dear. Right.
All right. So that'll do it.
Maybe over onwards.
Gotta go make pancakes.
Ara sent me a picture. A picture later in the day.
I hope it was just pancakes then.
Yeah, it was. Oh God, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. All right. That was all that from watching the Penguin.
Right.
So
yeah.
So there you got that. Who's that? You want Steve, you want this?
Yeah, can do. Or do you want to get Twister and that out of the way and just get those done? They've been on it for a while. That'll only take 5 minutes, and that's we'll get a twofer out of that.
All right. You want to start with this one?
Yeah, can do. Yeah, it makes sense.
All right.
We'll start with the lower, and we'll work upwards. It is the bright
we go.
side, isn't it? Okay, so this one then is Twisters on 4K UHD, Dolby Atmos. Obviously the 2024 sequel to, I don't know, sequel, remake. I'm not quite sure. Requel, sidequel.
Call that.
Yeah, really don't know. So Twisters, and movie. I saw it in theaters. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to getting the disc. And we talked about this on the show on Saturday. But Shane Lee and I kind of talked about it because I got this home and I put the disc on and I was ready for awesomeness. And when that menu there is on screen, there is music, and the music was fine and exactly. I put it to my normal reference listing volume. This all sounded great. And then I hit play. And that was the end of my excitement, really, for the audio of this movie, because what happened then is it was quiet, it was flat, it was really disappointing. But I just there was some envelopment. You can hear the overheads going when they fire the rockets up into the twisters. There is sound there. It's just not very dynamic. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll turn it up a bit. And then it was a bit better, but then it just was loud, not enveloping. And again, as I said on Saturday, I thought, right, it's my system. Oh no, it's got to be me. Must be me, because this is a brand new movie and it's Twisters. I mean, it's got to be me. So off it went. I dug out the Dolby Atmos demo disc, played the test tones. All the speakers are working. They're all balanced. Sounds great. Went back to the Dolby Atmos demo disc, played the test tones. All right, you're right. Myself played back. Okay. So having done that, and it just then was flat again. So I watched the whole thing through and just thought, this is something wrong with me. I don't know what's going on. Very weird. And then I went online, as I am wont to do, and I see reference here and reference there, and Shane Lee says it's a 9.3. It's really good. And that was like, oh no, because I know Shane, trust him. He's really good. And then I text you, Deej, was like, I'm pretty sure you said that it wasn't brilliant, but I couldn't find the show. So that was that. And then on Saturday, out of nowhere, somehow Twisters came up, and I can't remember how. And Shane then said, "Do you know what? I think I got that wrong." And I think I just think I did that wrong. And fair play to him for having the decency to say that in a public forum. And then of course we talked about it, and sure enough, he thought it was flat. I think it's flat. You think it's flat. And it was very disappointing to the point where I think there might be something wrong with the disc, or indeed the audio mix, because it's the same on Kaleidoscape.
It's Kaleidoscape. It's the disc. And it was like, it'd be
Just
different
weird.
if like Shane and I were like, no, that's really good. But I was like, no, I felt like, and I even remember, because when I talked about it, I was like, maybe it's because I was expecting the more, because of the original had just come out and we raved about it. That was like, remember we even asked about that one. Could that be disc of the year? Because it was so good. And then this comes out and you're like, it just didn't have the same oomph. Picture wise either. I didn't feel like the picture was
very soft. Yeah.
I didn't feel like the picture had, but I was trying to, maybe I got it early. Not a lot of people talking about it. Shane even got to it later. It was just recently. And maybe it was just me, because I just went over the first one with a fine-tooth comb and was so excited about it. And Shane was too. Remember, Shane went over that one, the audio, but he didn't mention anything about the video. And then he was on the show about it. We were talking about it here. And then I was like, oh my God, but nobody's talking about the video in this one. So maybe we'll talk about that one someday, right, Steve?
Yeah.
You want to get to that
now? We could do that. So this one was disappointing though, and I'm not sure I will watch this again anytime soon. And I certainly wouldn't dig this out to demo anything, be it picture or video. This is one that's kind of, I'm going to let myself forget as a home theater presentation. So then, however, that turned up on the Saturday, and I watched it on the Saturday evening, worried about it, and then on Monday, this arrived, which is Twister, which is the new 4K UHD and brand new Dolby Atmos. So you can imagine, bearing in mind the time frame on this, because I hadn't spoken to you about it yet. Obviously, I read the Shane's reviews and others saying it was Twisters was reference. And so you can imagine the quivering hands as I put this into the disc tray, hit play, thinking, because if this is bad, I'm in real trouble. I don't know what I'm going to do. So in it goes. Music comes on. It's an animated menu, as you can see there. And I think, okay, well, the music sounds great. All right. But then so did it on Twisters. So I hit play on the movie, and then it begins. And every square inch of the room filled with noise and fury and power and everything else. And it was like, the scales fell from my eyes and from my ears. And it was just awesome. And it's like, well, what the hell? what's happened with Twisters, when this is exactly what you wanted. And I was listening out for the suction noise that you'd mentioned in the beginning, and sure enough, there it is. And every Twister in this has its own sonic signature. You can hear the animal noises, the growling, all this sort of stuff. And it's just a different world to Twisters. It's like they got them back to front. Because this is a fantastic disc, and I loved all the extra changes to the video. The color timing that you'd mentioned was great. I love the green sky and that. And again, they talk about it, and this is the thing, I'd missed it before. By the way, I heard a lot of dialogue in this that I'd never picked up before in the new mix, talking about we've got parasites or something, or we've got ticks. One of them says as they're riding alongside them, they go, "Oh, we've got ticks," and I never heard that before. And of course, that's them on their back. Loads of stuff that I never picked up, and I've seen this film tons of times. So it was great. And and they talk about the sky going green, and I never picked up that dialogue before. As in, I heard it and just didn't think anything of it, because normally it's blue. Before they did the color timing on this, the sky was blue. So when you now see
things were bright, not like that overcast look. You didn't have that feel, whether they're in the truck or they're watching the clouds come in, they're standing outside a truck. It just, you didn't have that that ominous darkness with the brightness in the background. But it just it I don't know if they just couldn't translate it that way without HDR or what, but it was so they went over I would say this is the best reproduction since the Lord of the Rings trilogy. They went over it with a fine-tooth comb so well. Every detail.
The revelatory nature of the new version. It's a new movie. It's better than the new movie. So it's absolutely awesome. I mean, this is what I wanted. And as I said, I think I said on the show very briefly, when I first played the opening bit, so you have Twisters come up, you get that whooshing sound, don't you, as Twister comes up, and that sounded great. And as I did that, someone came wandering into the cinema room. It was about lunchtime on a weekday. Honest, if my boss is listening, it was definitely lunchtime. It was not mid-afternoon when I was working from home. And so just in case. So anyway, so someone came in, and I think they just were like, "What's going on?" And then sort of put the head around the door, and I said, "Right, sit down." They just listened to this opening bit, and both of us then were just back in the seats, just like, and it was great. It really is good. This is a reference demo disc all day long.
Oh yeah,
like you say, a push play demo disc. Or spin 100%. The dial on your time counter and just press play wherever it lands, and you're going to be somewhere where you're gonna get this impression. It was great. And again, way better than, unfortunately, Twisters, which I don't get. If anyone that doesn't already have this, in 4K in Dolby Atmos, get it. Do yourselves a favor. I think it's only $19.99 here, so it's a cheaper one than Twisters as well, which is $24.99. And just enjoy. This is why we're here. This is your experience. This is your sight, sound, and scenes right here.
Absolutely. And this, I mean, the thing about I had this on Laserdisc. It was always a movie for like demo material, that opening scene, push play, check this out. We get the Laserdisc in, and you had a great demo before you even had to flip the disc. So it's way back when. And then it was like the first DVD of note to be sold back in 97. And it's such an iconic movie. But this version had like made me like wrong. I was 100% wrong, because I always said like, well, this is great surround, because what are you gonna do? It's just chaos, right? So like I compared this to Gravity for years and years and years, because the nuances of Gravity and that surround, the Atmos surround, and the cleanliness of it, right? And like how clean everything. It's like the sounds are nice, but hey, anybody can make a mix for Twister, because it's just chaos. It's like whoosh, going around your room, and you're going to be in awe. And that goes all the way back to the 90s when, maybe it wasn't discrete surround at the beginning, and then it went to discrete, on Laserdisc. And then you get the, same thing on DVD. It was basically the same as the Laserdisc. And it was nice, but you're like, and it was demo worthy, especially that opening scene, where it's just loud and like the thunderous bass and the lightning, and you're like, yay, and you're watching it on your 32-inch, CRT television, and you're like, this is great, awesome, but your room would come alive, right? And then the Blu-ray comes out, much of the same. It just was chaos. But from the moment you push play on this and you get that, it took the chaos and it cleaned it up. It just like, you knew where every sound was coming from, to the point of when that, spoilers, when he gets sucked out, you feel that coming from the back of the, and that was never there before. Because I heard it on the first viewing and I had to go to I went to the Blu-ray and to the German Atmos.
The Turbine one. Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't there on any of them. And it's like, now it's like everything is so cleanly done. And, never mind the video. Right. And it's the texture. It's the texture to the sound. I mean, they've always had, all of the Twisters in the movie have had like a different sonic signature. They've always had that. And you can, and in the past you could pick out, because lots of them have, as I say, growling. There are animal noises in each one, but now they are much more present. You can, and the threat that comes with that sonic texture is fantastic. And again, as often when you get a movie like this, it feels like the sound has been pushed into every corner of the room, right up to the very top right corners, left, right, the whole lot, and it's just awesome. It's great, really, really good. And night and day over Twisters. I mean, it really is. Yeah.
It's interesting, actually. So we've got some other.
I was just going to highlight that one. too.
Yeah. So Peer Production says, totally agree. Twisters audio was underwhelming, and even bumping up the volume didn't make it better. It's a plain Jane mix. Well, this is what we say, PF, is, loud does not mean quality.
Yeah.
It just means loud.
Yeah.
But I did the same thing. And then we've got Martin J says, BSHT is the place to go for a good, honest opinion. There was hype everywhere about Twisters. And then TSG, the local boy, says it was so good in the cinema. How did they get the disc wrong? Well, we were asking that on Saturday, and none of us could quite get to the bottom of it. Is it just broken? Is this just what was intended? I just don't know.
I can't imagine that.
We may never know. But again, fair play to Shane. I mean, if Shane is listening, I mean, he brought this up. I don't think I brought up Twisters. It takes a lot of guts, because of how big his footprint is on YouTube and as a reviewer. People know Shane. It's not like us. No one knows us. People know Shane. Even in supermarkets, they know
exactly.
Shane.
It's recognized in the supermarket.
Yeah, so people know him, and yet so for him to say and bring up, look, do you know what? I think I got that wrong. Is shows a lot of guts and a lot of really integrity to do that, and fair play to him. And I think he was very clear by the end of our chat that actually he's with us in terms of this mix. But Twister is a no-brainer, and it will be on one of my discs of the year almost certainly, if we're allowed to bring in reissues. I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's a whole new disc, though. It really, the movie itself is older, but it's a whole new disc for the year. The new audio, new video. How do you not? I mean, it's just, but it's too bad about Twisters. And it's like, it's the modern day Ragnarok, right?
Yeah.
It's like we wanted so much from that, and to have this happen. And we try everything with Ragnarok, like boosting this and boosting up the, the bass frequencies, trying to get you're trying to create a, dynamic that isn't there. Right. If you don't have that dynamic, all you're doing is raising the volume, and flat's flat. You just make it louder. It's like, yay. Or not. It's like, no, you need that. You need the highs and lows to really, hear the cleanliness, hear the difference.
Yeah. And you can't hide behind them these days either, because we get so many amazing mixes, so many great movies in a year that come out, that you can't just kind of push out a mix that's substandard and not expect it to get noticed. It's just very weird. Really weird. Yeah. And a shame, because the movie's all right. I mean, I like the movie.
It's fun movie.
It is. Yeah. In a Maverick kind of way, and funny enough. Yeah. It's kind of a slight redux of the original in a more streamlined story sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the video
could have been greatly enhanced by the mix. Really?
Yeah, it could. Yeah, well, yes, indeed. But there we go. Never mind. Moving on.
But definitely pick up Twister. John, have you grabbed it yet, or are you waiting for Black Friday?
Yeah, I haven't picked it up yet. I just took Twisters off my list on Amazon.
People are saying that in the chat too.
I'll wait. I'll watch it on HBO
Exactly.
free,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
I like
I
the
feel-
movie enough, you know.
Yeah,
we'll see,
I mean, I
but-
feel bad saying it, but
Yeah.
we've got to be honest about it, because you don't want people spending their hard-earned cash on it, thinking it's going to be great based on other
Well,
reviews.
yeah.
And the wrong thing to do would be to have seen it and then not mention it.
Right.
Because people then pick it up, and it's not great. So,
Well,
but there we go.
yeah, exactly. Not everything's great, and I mean, we tried. I wanted to really like it. I was like, oh no, that was awful.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
awful.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not awful, but it's
No.
not what it could have been.
Yeah.
So
Disappointing. Yeah.
Very, very disappointing. All right, what else do we got here?
We've got a trip to see the doctor with John.
Yeah, we can. I can do that pretty quick because it's
Yeah, with
getting
you, John.
late,
Yeah, do you want to
or
do
if
John?
you want to do yours, DJ? It's fine. It doesn't matter.
What's the? Oh yeah, let's do that one quick, and then we'll wrap up with the one I just showed there.
Yeah, no worries.
Steve,
Yeah.
You got that one?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
Here we go.
All right. So this was Doctor Sleep, 4K disc. Dolby
Steve starts
Vision.
snoring.
Well, oh yeah, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos,
miss?
4K. So I had seen this before, but I just picked up the disc because it was on sale for like $11 the other day, so I grabbed it. And yeah, what's to say? I mean, most of us have seen this movie. It's great. It's a really, really good movie. I think for my money, Dan Torrance is probably one of the strongest characters in movie history. Because 95% of us in his shoes would have taken Rose's deal at the end of that movie. so I give him kudos for standing strong. So the movie is what it is. It's great. The disc is something even better though. Like this disc is fantastic. I'm sure we've talked about it on the show before. I'm always late to the party because I buy these things way after everybody else. But I was really, really impressed with this disc. Picture quality and sound quality were both like top tier. Like this is really, really a great theater experience. It's a great disc. Some of the recreations of like the Overlook and the past 70s or whatever. I mean, they did a really great job with that. I think they could have done a little better job with their Jack Nicholson character, but other than that, overall, I don't know. This came out in 2019-ish, 2018-ish. I don't know. I mean, we were already doing some decent de-aging, so maybe we could have got Jack back in here and done something. But otherwise, yeah. Again, this is super quick because there's not a lot to say. Buy this disc; it's fantastic. Like I said, just really, really worthwhile, and for $11.
I think that's what I did a standalone on. I think it was a standalone a while.
I say
back.
I know. I know it's been on
away.
the show. Yeah, I know it's been on the show more than once, but.
You know how long ago I did this as a
probably
standalone?
19.
Probably
19 or 20.
It came out in 2019. Yeah, it did come out in 2019. I did it before I had the Kaleidoscape because I don't even own this on Kaleidoscape yet. I just looked it up. It's $24.99 on Kaleidoscape, 4K, HDR, Atmos. So I did this off the disc back then, and it was stunning. I didn't expect the movie to be as good as it was, right for the remake, but then the home theater experience of it was like, I remember like just the atmospherics of it, and then that scene in the bedroom of like the side shot and how the sound moves and the bass. It's insane.
Yeah,
it really was like stunning is the word.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. It is. It's a stunning disc. It's great. To answer Paul. I just want to answer Paul's question in the chat real quick about the director's cut. This did come with the director's cut, but only on Blu-ray, not on 4K. So I haven't watched that yet, and I've never seen the director's cut, but it is included in the 4K disc. So
okay, yeah. I don't know.
It's that rarest of things. This is a horror epic. Just the scale and the sweep of this is way beyond anything you normally get in a horror film. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I've only seen it once. I need to see it again. I really enjoyed it. Again, 4K disc is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Let's see. Ready for all right, you ready? I forgot to grab a picture myself, but I have this one too, Steve.
Oh, this could be interesting then.
Yeah. So you ready to get to it?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, so this is Borderlands on 4K UHD and in Dolby Atmos. Lionsgate disc came out here yesterday. So I traipsed to my local store after I got out of court and picked it up. Deadpool and Wolverine had already been delivered. I haven't seen that yet. But I wanted to get this and give this a go. So picked it up, took it home, watched it last night. And the reason I watched it, because this film has been very much maligned and currently sits at the less than lofty 26 on IMDb out of 100.
Oh.
And is red. It's never a good sign. And every review I'd read of this said it's crap. Every review that I had read. And yet, so I would have let this pass me by, but for one John Thompson and one Shane Lee, who said on this here program that they enjoyed it and thought Borderlands was actually pretty good. So it was on the basis of that I picked it up and saw it. Otherwise, I would never have seen this, because it's directed by Eli Roth of Thanksgiving fame. But famously with this is a video game adaptation. The video game is 18 rated, R rated all day long. And the movie was originally envisaged, as I understand it, as an R-rated movie. It's Eli Roth. You don't hire Eli Roth to give you a Smurfs movie. All right. So, the guy does gore and he does graphic and he does swearing, and that's what he does. So this is how it was originally envisaged. But somewhere along the line, and I haven't looked into it in any detail, but somewhere along the line, someone at Lionsgate said, I've got a great idea. How about PG-13? And that's how they then, it would appear, shot or indeed reshot quite a lot of it. And I think the reshoots are very clear, and I'll talk about those in a minute. So it's a movie that's been very heavily tinkered with and messed around with, and lots of stuff's been done to it. And I went in with very low expectations. So the movie, it was okay. I did quite enjoy it.
You have to finish it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? I did. There's a lot of the way through. You're like, and then when it, you get to the end, you get the full story. You're like, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah. It on a kind of, I put it on a level of kind of like Morbius and Madam Web and that kind of, kind of a
way above Madam Web.
Yeah, I'm kind of on a similar kind of line. I mean, I really like Jack Black as Claptrap. I thought he was very funny. He was the one that kept me going through it. It's dopey and silly, but he kept me laughing all the way through, which kept me hooked to it. That was funny. And it's fun enough. And I mean, you could tell it's a video game. And in fact, I think it actually plays like a video game. Loads of it's like cutscenes from a video game. And that's kind of so I thought it was okay. I didn't love it.
I felt like they were stealing like Guardians of the Galaxy.
There's definitely some of that. Yeah.
Some of
which might have been the reason for PG-13.
It's basically like, I think the PG-13 is just to get more seats in. You go rated R with something like this, you limited your audience, so they're trying to make it more like broadly available. But it's totally like Guardians of the Galaxy. In my opinion, it's just really.
I think that's fair. Yeah. But you feel the edits, like when I found, I felt a bit like this, like I did with Rebel Moon on Netflix. When someone shoots a gun and there's a whip pan, and then you don't see the bullet hit, and you almost you think, right, that clearly did have a shot to it. You could. There's another version somewhere where that hit. And you could, and I felt those edits. But anyway, so it was okay, and it's going to go in the collection. I'm not going to, it's not going to be consigned to Midway Hell in the attic. It will go into the collection. And I think I know someone who is going to want to watch this, who's played the game very briefly. In fact, we played it together, and it may be that I think I know someone that will want to see this, and I'll look forward to watching that with him, and that'll be fun.
It's no Fifth Element, right?
Oh no, it's way better than the Fifth Element. This is The Godfather. Compared to
or Transformers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There we go.
So now in terms of then the video, now it's a Lionsgate disc. Now they tend to be really solid, and I think there are definitely sequences on this where it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Where there are some exterior shots where the detail is absolutely out of this world, if you'll forgive the pun. Because it is supposed to be on a planet. By the way, why call the planet Pandora? Anyway, still
I don't
very
know.
odd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And also the other planet is called Promethea. And you're like, what are we going to have a planet flipping Alderania? And are we going to have a Hothet? And, it's like, oh, blow it out, guys. Anyway, talk about where your inspiration's on your sleeve. So some of the shots in it look absolutely fantastic and they're razor sharp and they look great. But there are also quite a few shots. And I think these are the reshoots where it looks as though it's the midway effect, actually, Deej, where you've got characters stood in the foreground and a really flat, almost out of focus background. Not quite out of focus, but it's soft.
I didn't think it was that bad, but I know what you're saying. There were some shots
definitely
what's the robot's name? You said
Claptrap.
Yeah, there were some shots of that where they didn't shadow him correctly. So he was like kind of levitating there, because if you don't shadow it, you don't ground him. And it's like, okay, so they missed. I noticed that a couple of times, but it didn't really take me out. That's more something like I notice. I'd be like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
There were some softer shots. So you get a really razor sharp exterior, and then it would look an establishing shot. And then you get a quick insert, and then they go back out again, and then it's all soft. And you're like, what's happened there? Like, so that was the thing, but it's really colorful and the HDR is great. And in fact, that bit that you look at there, where she's got this flamethrower, it looks, some of it's really, really nice. And there are definitely some lovely shots in it, but it's not consistent throughout. The audio, I'd read reviews, funnily enough, from sort of a reviewer who gave Twisters 5 stars, calling this reference. I'm not quite there. I like how it sounds. There's some good stuff in it, and I won't spoil it with certain scenes, because there are some bits that would give it away, including the best bits. But so I thought it was okay. It's loud.
Definitely it's loud.
It
but
is
it's
loud.
dynamic. It's not just. It's not loud for loud's sake. It's very dynamic. Dialogue is clear. The explosions, the gunshot, lots of great bass. I wouldn't call it reference either, but I would say it's very, very good. Totally enhances. I mean, it kept you going, even though I'm sitting there going, this is kind of Guardians. Okay, now it's really Guardians. This is Guardians. But the home theater experience was just like that good that you just wanted to keep on going. And it was, I found it to be entertaining throughout. I will say this, I'll go a little higher on the video than you, because I agree with what you're saying about the background, but I thought the costumes, the detail on the characters themselves was so good that it really didn't take me out of, like, even though I understand what you're saying about the background, but the detail was so good. Like her hair, all the different
clothes.
And like you see in this image here, that glittery blue vest she's wearing, the different I mean, all of the costumes throughout. Gina Gershon looked fantastic. They all did, right? And I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, and like her, like looking at the detail of her face, and she's getting up there, but she looked fantastic. And look at it's just the inconsistencies between the
hyper detail in one moment, and then the next one a little softer, and then backwards and forwards. That's what just nudged it down a notch for me. But at times, I 100% agree with you. It looks great. I mean, again, Claptrap, all the little dents and the dings and the scratches and all that. I mean, at times it looks incredible and actually very 3-dimensional at times. Yes. But then other times it's just that little bit soft. And again, I'm convinced that's reshoots, and that's just background. They've added, they've got the actors in, probably not even at the same time, stuck them in front of a blue screen or green screen and gone, right, quickly run through these lines, and then they've inserted the backdrop and not had the time to up-res it, up-mix it to whatever quality that the shot footage had been. But it's an all right disc. I wouldn't buy it for full price. I paid £25 for this yesterday. I think this is the archetypal 2 for £30 type. The store I bought it from, HMV, does these after a while. The new releases go down, and you can get 2 for 30. This is an archetypal one of those for me. This isn't a rush out and buy it at full price. Wait till it comes down, pick it up, and then I think with a couple of beers, or indeed the appropriate cookie, on a Saturday night, as I often say.
Absolutely.
on a Saturday night, couple of beers, couple of friends, or I think really this is a teenage boy movie, right? So if you've got the appropriate target market,
or John
they'll have a blast. Yeah, they'll have a riot with it. And I think that's the target market, hence the PG-13.
Be reference if
then,
Kate Beckinsale was in it, but
well, there you go. This is it.
they kind of dropped the ball on that.
Too late to reshoot it.
Yeah, exactly. They got Jamie Lee Curtis, just not the one from True Lies.
Yeah. Now get this, though, Deej. Are you ready for something new? Brace yourself.
Okay.
A film that Jordan didn't particularly like.
Oh my God. Oh no. Great.
I know.
We found it.
We found the film.
The needle in the haystack.
Yeah.
Jordan,
this will be the one that someone will make a poster of this, and Jordan will have it behind him in his room.
Yeah,
this will be his Fifth Element.
Jordan says in the chat, I wasn't a fan of Borderlands film, but there's no doubt that its practical elements, costume, and makeup effects are great. Yeah. See, he still couldn't help but compliment the hell out of it.
Well, that's it. Yeah. He DM'd me yesterday because he sends me pictures of the new ones when he's picked them up. Yeah. And I said I was going to pick it up. And he said, oh, I didn't really like it. And I was like, oh my God, how bad can it be?
Right. But we got Martin in the chat saying, I bet all the bad reviews are from people who like the game and were expecting something different. And then TSG Spartan says, Martin, as a huge fan of the game, I can tell you I did not like it. And yes, was expecting something else. It should have been rated R. And Martin saying, I know nothing about the game, but it's, but that's always the case, right? Sometimes like you're a big fan of the game. You're going in, you're expecting something, and it's just not that. Like we heard that with Halo, which I thought was a great series. I knew the game Halo, but there were a lot of people that didn't, that were like, what are you doing that? They never take off the helmets. Like, come on. These actors want to take the helmets off. It's like eventually, even the Mandalorian took his helmet off, right? Sometimes it's those expectations are what kill you, and if you're not a fan of the game, I'm like, I don't even see, I have never played this game. I only know it was a game because people said it's a game. Other than that, I'm like, watching the movie, I'm like, how do you play this game? What game is this?
Yeah,
like,
it's a first-person shooter.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I think definitely, like you said, Steve, it's like wait till it goes way down on sale, bargain bin or whatever. And then I think it's worth the bargain bin purchase over waiting for streaming, because I think there's enough there audio video wise that you definitely want this in physical media, but maybe not at full price. So
I think that's fair, because it's not crap. I didn't hate it, and as I said, it's not Midway and nowhere near to Fifth Element.
No, there were no like aircraft carriers or subs or anything like that.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. Lots of ships.
Yeah, a lot of ships.
Spaceships.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But I think it needs to be, it can be seen at that appropriate price, as I say. And there will be a market for it. There will be some teenage boys that will love it, or teenagers generally. I think, your 11, 12, 13, who will, I think, really get a kick out of it. And as I said, I happen to know one who has played the game and I think will enjoy the movie. And that's, hopefully I'll get to see that again. Yeah. But otherwise, those of us of a certain age, and certainly if you've never played the game, don't rush out and buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you got no Kate Beckinsale, but you got Kate Blanchett, which that's the reason you keep going back to Ragnarok. I mean, come on. So
she was way better in that.
Oh yeah. All right, there we go. Is that all we got for this week? That's good for this week.
Yeah. Time-wise, we've done about right. Yeah.
Yeah, we good. All right. Great. That should do it then. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget, please don't forget the scroll's running down there. Donate. Go to Ryan Davies' page. Go to brightsidehometheater.com. Buy a box of popcorn. All the money this month's going to Ryan Davies' Movember. But again, if any of the entries you want, all the links are in the show notes, all the things that are up, except I got to add in now Paul's giveaway of the, Lawrence of Arabia with the, I'm pretty sure who's going to not choose the original artwork from Paul. So we're going to go with that. So all that's in the show notes, and then, give all month and then just give me a total at the end of the month. Let me know what you're interested in. Eddie and I will be raffling it off, Takeover Tuesday in December, first Takeover Tuesday in December. So, but yeah, let's get that number up there for Ryan and see what we can, see. Last year he raised 5,000. So hopefully with us, he can raise more than that this year. So, all right. Anything else, guys?
No, think we're all sorted. Yeah.
All righty. Let me make sure. There we go. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I'll be in the Patreon after show in a little bit. Gonna wrap things up with John and Steve as soon as we end here. But any of the patrons want to join the live show afterwards, I can go to 8:30. I have a game tonight, so I'll be chatting over there as long as people are there. So thank you, everybody. Thanks to all the patrons. Thanks to everybody for Saturday. Everybody that participated, watched, whatever. Thank you very much. It was awesome. Can't wait to do it next year. John, Steve, thank you for all the support through getting through all of that to get us to here we are today. Really appreciate it. But yeah, so till next time, what are you going to do?
Go push play.
What he said.
Yes,
Hey, Fred.
This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.